What's poppin'? You know it's Showtime. Mr. Talk of the Town, live and direct. ShowtimeSays.com is the site. The mind of Showtime is the movement. On the phone with me right now, I got the beautiful lioness, Miss Teedra Moses. Teedra, what up, dog?
Hey, darling. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Good to hear from you. A lot of good things popping. A lot of things going on in your world. Let's start at the beginning, though. I know there's some folks who may not be familiar with you. They may be familiar with your music, but they may not know who the woman is behind the music. So give us a little bit of background information on who Teedra Moses is and tell them why they call you the lioness.
Well, I am a singer-songwriter that was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I used to be signed to TDT Records, where I put out an album by the name of Complex Simplicity in 2002. And from that point on, I went on to put out a few mixtapes, but also wrote songs for other artists like Mary J. Blige, Macy Gray, Christina DeLeon, Raphael Sadiq, quite a few people. And at this point, I'm getting ready to put out my own project again.
All right, cool. So you kind of been not necessarily off the scene because you're heavy on the mixtape circuit. I think you got about 6 mixtapes under your belt. What have you been doing? Because, of course, Complex Simplicity is a super dope album. One of my favorite albums. I still say Be Your Girl is one of the greatest songs of all times.
Thank you, baby.
It's a crazy record. But where have you been from the Complex Simplicity days until now?
Well, you know, originally, after I put out Complex Simplicity, I started writing for other people because the album came out to critical acclaim, but it didn't really, commercially do very well in numbers. So my record label wasn't, pretty too enthused about me and my music or whatever. So I'm the kind of person, when you're not on me, I ain't on you either. So I started going where the money was and going where people were giving me love, and they were giving me love with my pen, So
right.
I started writing for other people. And then when I realized that was just the label on that, it wasn't, that wasn't people's idea of the project. People really appreciated the project. That's when I started to start making mixtapes and just killing shows, like really just playing in front of everybody, you name it, hopping on different tours, sponsored by different people, different tours, So I just started smashing and really grinding.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that you didn't really have to do as much back when I came out as an artist.
Right.
About 7 to 8 years ago, you really get with a big label and they'll just support you. Now it's different, and for me it was different then. Being on an indie label, you had to really grind because they weren't just throwing promotion dollars at you and stuff like that. So that's why I call it TDT college. I went to college after I put out that album.
Right. So
most people go to college before. They get the experience before. They spend their whole life trying to get a deal and doing shows. And I didn't do that. I got a deal instantly, and then I had to learn how to grind. And that's pretty much what happened after Complex Simplicity. I just started grinding and learning how to, survive as an artist and really not rely on labels.
So as a songwriter and also as an artist, which do you prefer? Do you prefer just to stay in the background and get your songwriting on and flex your pen, or would you rather be out in front of the audience and performing and doing things like that?
That's a two-way thing, kind of, because I'm really not into fame.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those people that need that kind of attention. I love people loving my music, though.
Right.
I love singing my own songs. Writing is cool, but you have to strip some of yourself when you write for other people. Initially started to write, I became a songwriter while shopping for a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I became a songwriter because people would say, okay, we got enough girls to give us this song, give us that song. So as we were shopping, I was just giving songs away until I, found a deal. But it was never me writing a song for someone.
Right.
It was always me writing a song for myself. People like, oh, I like it. Well, after I had to start writing songs for people, which I did well at, but for me, as an artist, as a person that is really in tune with myself, and that's what I think makes my pen pretty good, because I'm so in tune with how I feel, which means that most times other women or people can relate to what I'm feeling because I'm so in tune with what I'm going on with myself. That started being stripped away as a songwriter. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta really take you off and put on somebody else. And I'm like a 100 type person.
Right.
I'm so me. I'm super me. So that the writing started to phase out for me when I had to start really stripping myself away to perform for somebody else and become work for hire. So I ended up being more interested in writing for myself and performing myself and, you know, just doing my records myself. So it's kind of a double-edged type sword thing. I like writing, but I really enjoy writing for myself even more because that way I don't have to strip none of myself away and lose my chops to try to sell a record. Or it's not like you don't have to tap dance for yourself. You know, you feel it, you're going to sing it, and you can perform it.
Right. So from going from a situation with TVT and now you're down with the boss and that whole Maybach music movement, how did that come about? Like how did that first call go when you got the call from Ross to say we want you to come over here and play for our team? Like, how was that?
It was really dope. You know, Ross is a very charismatic person in the sense that, you know, he's excited. He's just an excited, jovial person. Like, you know, he's a very great coach, and that's what initially just drew me to the situation. Because when he called, he was just like, "Yo, you know, hey, what you doing? You in Miami? I'm in Miami. You give me just like 20 minutes, 30 minutes of your time. Come through and holler, whatever." Later on that evening, I went over to his house because he's like 20 minutes away from me, and I met up with him and Meek and Wale and Gucci, and they were all real cool. You know, they had a movement going on where it was more so based on the hustle, based on, you know, getting to the people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it wasn't a bunch of industry bullshit type of thing. That's part of my French, but it wasn't a lot of that going on, you know? It was more like, okay, this is what we do. We grind, and we trying to put records out. And like, you know, this is my experience with a record label, and this is what I've had to do. You know, and Wale's like, this is my experience. This is that. You know, so everybody pretty much was on the same page of like, you know, we get to the people.
Right.
It ain't really about the industry. It ain't about the whole, you know, hoopla. It's about hustling and getting to the people. And I've learned a lot just in that, watching them get to the people. I've always done it my own way. Soul music is totally different. Soul and R&B is very different than hip hop. It's a different approach. You just can't, like, you can if you want, but you can't just throw things in people's faces and think that it's going to keep catching. You really have to give a substance. You know what I mean? You have to come from an approach where you can give something people can really put their feet into and hold on to. So I think they appreciate where I'm coming from with it, and I truly appreciate where they were coming from with it, and that's kind of how it went. You know, when we joined together, I think that they are just they dominate because of their hustle.
Right.
They have good music, but they have a great hustle, you know?
Now, do you have a particular favorite artist in the Maybach family that you're working with, that you like to work with? I know you got the record with Wale on the last mixtape, on the latest mixtape. Is there anybody that you prefer to work with, or who do you think has the best pen out of the whole crew?
I thought what you asked me that question.
The people want to know.
Honestly, I really like Sally. I think he's really original. So, you know, I love Ross. I love what Ross brings to the table. Like, as far as just his personality on the record is undeniable. It's magnetic. You know, I love Magazine, the reggae artist.
Right.
I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it's a very dope squad, so it's very hard to say. I love Meek Mills because of his energy, you know what I mean? But I think the record that I'm really looking forward to, of course, Ross, that's like not even a question, but I'm really looking forward to doing something different and obscure with Stolly.
Gotcha.
You know, because he comes from such a different place, and I'm the artist that really impressed me, you know, an artist that comes from a different place, because that's initially where I always try to come from, a place that's not very common to people and unique to me.
So as an artist, like, what do you think it takes right now? Because you've kind of been through all the stages of being an artist. You've done the independent thing with your mixtapes. You've been signed to a small label. Now you're signed to what's pretty much a powerhouse. What do you think it takes right now to make it as an artist?
Self-sufficiency. You have to be self-sufficient. You know, I don't think nobody's going to fool with you if you're not self-sufficient. You have to. I mean, like, this is back in the day. See, I started out as a stylist.
Right.
So I used to be in a camp. You know, I used to be work for hire in different camps, different record labels or whatever. And it used to be that you had all these things offered to you. You know, if you were a singer, they'll put you in the gym if you was a little chunky. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you were a singer and you didn't write, but you had a good voice, they'll get somebody to write songs for you. You know what I mean? If you were a rapper, and, you know, pretty much rappers are self-sufficient. They've always pretty much been self-sufficient, but more so R&B singers, you know, there was a lot offered to you. there's no longer all that offered to you. You know, you need to come with a camp that's going to work for you, because the record label pretty much don't do that much anymore. They give you money to put out to make a record, and how it gets to the people and the promotion of it and everything is not very strong like it used to. You have to find, you know, endorsements to really get your record put out there. So you have to really be self-sufficient. If you're going to sing, you need to be writing. If you're going to be writing, you need to be able to arrange and vocal produce. You know, you don't need to have so many people going to the studio for you to make something happen. You almost need to know how to produce, and in a sense, that's something that I've learned to do. Like, I don't sit down and hit a beat machine and all this different stuff, but I come to producers with a vision of what I'm doing, and a sample, and a chord, and you know what I mean. Like, you have to really have a vision from like my dad used to say, the rooter to the tutor. Where the hell you going? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to really have a vision. Otherwise, you're gonna just fizzle out, because everybody and their mama think they can do it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one thing that I can say I'm loving about the turn of music. You know, you got 1,000,001 rappers, because some of what you've been hearing on the radio sounds like, oh, I could do that. You got 1,000,001 singers, because some of what you hear on the radio is like, I could sing like that. Well, now we're getting back around to artists that you can't do that shit. You know what I mean?